Welcome back to the Wizard's Guide podcast, your guide to all things Wizards Unite. I am Mike.
And I am Britt.
And this is our podcast, which is a companion to
Sounds so official.
I know, right? Our podcast. This is our companion option to our YouTube channel, I guess you would call it. It's another way to get your Wizards Unite news into your earlobes as you're driving to work or procrastinating at work. They kind of correlate all things with work there.
I feel like that's when I always listen to my podcast, though. It's either driving to work in traffic, or sometimes I just have it on in the background while I'm working.
And really, it's not like I'm less productive when I listen to podcasts.
No, I feel like I'm more productive because it keeps me sitting still.
Yeah.
Like I stay in my seat and get my work done when I have something entertaining me.
For sure.
So we want to make you more productive at work.
Or more productive while you're stuck in traffic. Because you're learning something as you're sitting there. So you are welcome for that. A little disclaimer before we get too far into this episode. It is late. It is a pretty late night for us. We just got done shooting one of our videos and editing, and we're uploading right now.
It is currently 1:30 in the a.m.
And it's a work night. Man, this is horrible if my
and
work
I have
listens to this.
3 little girls having a sleepover that will probably have me up at the butt crack of dawn. So
yeah, so lots of coffee will be consumed tomorrow morning. But it has been a crazy couple of weeks. And definitely want to, I guess, put it out there that we did not record a podcast last week. Sorry about that. Right? That was last week, right?
Yeah, last week we spent the week in the Wizarding World of Harry Potter Orlando on vacation. And most of the week was a pretty a quiet week from Warner Brothers and Niantic, and so we had a chance to kind of just spend time with the kids until the very end of the week, when the news topics and stuff sort of like ramped up. So we've done obviously YouTube videos on a lot of these, so we won't get into them too in depth.
Yeah, we won't
tonight.
get into the nitty gritty.
But we can just sort of skim over the surface of some of the major ones, and then we have some updates for you as well.
Yeah, so one of the major things that happened last week, towards the end of our vacation, that made things very interesting, was the announcement of an exclusive event at Universal Studios on June 18th. And it was an email that went out to select few content creators, and we just happened to have been lucky enough to be one of those people. So
yeah. And as much as I would love to just share everything about the event, I think it's already common knowledge. It's out there. None of us knew that it was a private event when we tweeted out the screenshots of that email. It's out there. It's been covered multiple times by multiple people in multiple videos, and that's out there. But Mike will be going. I think we can say that, and I will be here pregnant. So,
oh my gosh, please, just like of any time period for little Olivet to appear,
it would not be good to happen next week.
No, please not.
So that'll be fun. But if and when we can share more information regarding that event, we certainly will. We're excited to do that. But yeah, that's to come. Also, an event coming up is the AT&T Shape event.
This sounds cool.
It does sound cool. This is June 22nd and the 23rd. AT&T is hosting this event called AT&T Shape. It's like a 2-day immersive event, and it's talking about the convergence of technology and entertainment. we go into this a little bit more on the Guide to the Week video.
Yep.
But really the reason that it's important to our game, to Wizards Unite, is that it is being hosted at the Warner Brothers studio lot.
Yep.
And then one of the keynote speeches, one of the
keynote presentation.
Sure.
Conversation. It's not really a conversation. I guess it's a presentation. It is actually titled with the Wizards Unite name in it, and it's a 45-minute presentation where four representatives, 2 from Niantic, 2 from WB Games, will be there on stage talking about the game and the future of AR technology. I think, we do have this in the show notes. So it was confirmed. We did hear back from one of the speakers that will be there that said he does not believe there will be a live stream for this. So
right. I was bummed about that.
I was too. I wanted to actually
I'd really like
see this.
to hear it, but
now that, I mean, who knows? Maybe at the last minute, like a random live stream may show up that he didn't know about. But as of right now, it looks like we will not be able to stream that for you guys. Because we would have done that, which would have been fun. But
hopefully we'll get a recap afterwards.
I offered for that guy, the contact, to say he'll just live tweet the event while he's up on the stage. Just everything he says, he just tweets.
I'd be okay with that.
Yeah, I'd be cool with that too.
The next thing to update you on, I guess, is Wizards Unite. Its presence at E3.
There are a lot of events happening right now.
There are a lot of events.
Like in the span of like a week and a half.
Because it's summer?
I guess so, but it's E3. We've got the AT&T Shape event. I mean, there's a lot of events happening right now.
There are. But right now, it's E3. E3 is currently happening. We've not just outright heard anything about Wizards Unite having a presence at E3, but then Twitter happened.
Then that's a sentence that gets said quite a bit, I believe, is like then a tweet went out. Then Twitter happened.
So this is hard, I feel like, over this medium to explain. It's way easier to see a visual representation of what we're talking about. But essentially, WB official outlets released a Facebook status today and also a tweet, and it was the same photo, but the caption on each photo contradicted itself, sort of. It might just be that Twitter has a character limit and that's why they contradicted themselves, but basically it was Warner Brothers saying, look at these game titles, come check out these game titles.
Right.
They were big posters. None of them were Wizards Unite, but on the Facebook post, they specifically listed Wizards Unite as one of them, and Twitter, they did not.
Correct.
So,
and that may be the amount of space that Twitter allows you to tweet. You are limited to a certain amount of characters, as everybody knows that, I'm sure, by now.
I didn't know that because I don't use Twitter.
There you go. Now you've learned something.
I learned today.
There is a limit to the amount of characters that you can have in your tweet, so you have more flexibility with the other social media outlets, where Twitter is like, no, I think it's 256. Is that the upgraded? They updated it a few years ago. I think it's 256. I don't know. I can't remember. I just get mad every time I hit the limit, and I have to go back and try to figure out what to take out of my tweet. And this is important hashtags that I've got to take out. But anyway, it could have been that. But the tweet itself was pretty short. It was pretty small. I don't know why they didn't include other games. They didn't even include all of the posters that's in the image.
Maybe they just got sick of typing.
It could have been. Their fingers were hurting.
So, I thought at first maybe they had made a mistake on the Facebook post. Like, maybe they never intended to put that in there to begin with. But then I noticed that Alan Johnson had tweeted a photo. Alan Johnson is with Warner Brother Games, and he is currently at E3. He's spending 3 or 4 days or whatever at E3, and he posts this image that it basically looks like a large booth installation of Wizards Unite.
Yeah, it was.
There was no photo caption. It was just
it was just the name of the game,
the photos,
and it was 3 of the posters that they've been promoting for the past month and a half or so.
Like our YouTube background, our filming background.
They looked huge, though. It looked like, and I think you even said while you were looking at the photo that the bottom, it looked like the floor. You could see the floor, and so it was kind of giving you a little scale. It looked like big posters. So and he's at E3, so it only made sense that maybe they had some advertisement.
So it's entirely possible that Wizards Unite, like a game demo or something, is available at E3 for E3 attendees. I'll say the same thing here as I did on last night's video. If you're attending E3 and you can confirm that for us, that would be super duper.
Hit us up on our Twitter account and let us know if that's the case.
We'd love to know.
Yeah, this is probably the biggest thing that's happened today. That the beta players, the beta users in New Zealand and Australia,
and also people that downloaded the APK.
Yeah, anybody that's downloaded the APK ahead of time found that they could take some pictures of themselves and add some cool Harry Potter filters for their in-game ID. So a lot of your profile information in Wizards Unite is all kind of categorized or compiled into your Wizarding World ID that you can open up and see your Hogwarts house and all that other good stuff. And for the longest time, since the beta's been out, I guess, there's the little portrait area was blank. You weren't able to really do anything there.
Yeah.
Now you can open that up and you can take a little picture of yourself and add some hats and scarves and all kinds of cool things.
It works very much like Snapchat from what we've seen.
Yep. And they have
cool.
some movement options. There's some
frames that animate and some stickers.
Yep.
But you have to pay for them.
You have to pay for them or reach I don't know if it's for the moving ones, but I did see that some of them you had to reach a certain level to even unlock them. So like Bellatrix, I saw on Spicy stream tonight.
Yeah, that's so cool.
You have to reach level 20. So
oh, good gravy.
Yeah, so that's your first milestone for the game when it comes out is to hit that level 20 so you can have the Bellatrix a hairdo on your avatar.
There you go. But if you don't want your photo on there for some reason, there are also stock photo options.
Now it's a little confusing to me though too to say the word avatar with this situation, because this isn't your character that you see on the map walking around.
Right.
This is that character, that model is just like.
I'm still wondering, are we going to be able to customize that?
I hope so. I really do, because right now it's just a solid color, and I've said
it's
this
like a shadow person.
Yeah, I've said this on a couple of. I don't know if it was on our last podcast, but it looks like, you're like a game piece in like Clue, or I guess you don't have game pieces in Clue, in like Life. Like it reminds me of like a Life.
You don't have game pieces in Life either.
Oh,
you have a car.
Oh, the car is what I'm thinking of.
You're thinking like Monopoly.
Yeah, but those are what board games do you play that have little plastic people?
Sorry, you're like little pegs.
Yeah, we'll go with that. Sorry, we'll go with sorry. Anyway, you look like a board game piece, and then you have all these cool options to actually modify your ID, but it doesn't do anything for your in-game character that you see as you're walking around. And I'm also curious to see how this works with other players in the game. If they implement some sort of friends list option, do you see your friend's ministry ID picture
I would assume so.
on your friends list? So it's just some things to kind of keep track of as we get further along in the game.
I want to show off my Bellatrix hair.
Yeah, but I wish your character could wear Bellatrix hair.
Yeah.
In the game.
I agree. The only thing that I wish was different, I thought somebody had said like, oh, there's moving photos, and by that they meant animated stickers and stuff. In my head, I thought our IDs would move like the images in like the Daily Prophet, and I thought that would be cool.
Yep.
So hey guys, like y'all can add that in later if you want to.
Yeah. And again, this is hard to really talk about on an audio form, but like the animated stickers that Britt was just talking about is, think about like a snitch, floating around your picture on your ID, or the snitch is the only thing I can think of off the top of my head that I saw tonight that was like, darting around your face on your ID, and which was cool. It added like a layer to your image, but would love it to be similar to like the Daily Prophet.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, and so, all right, so the next topic that kind of came up last week before all the craziness started going down was the announcement of some new AR games that are hitting the market, and some kind of major IPs, some major names kind of jumping into that field. One of those being Men in Black, which I know you love.
Well, I love me some Will Smith.
Will Smith. Anything Will Smith. Just
I love it all.
He can carry a movie, So Men in Black, they're coming out with an AR game that's called Alien Invasion, I think, or World Invasion. Something Invasion. Global Invasion.
Global Invasion.
Yep. Minecraft is another.
There's Minecraft Earth.
Yeah, Minecraft Earth. That looks pretty cool. And Dragon Quest is something that, not many people here in America, unless you play, a lot of RPG games and things that you're a gamer. You've heard of Dragon Quest, but it's not a household name like Minecraft. And
definitely don't even know yet that this will ever be available.
Right? Yeah, that's
in the U.S.
That's what I was getting at. Is that currently right now it looks like that may just be a Japanese AR game, just available in Japan. But who knows? That it'll probably end up over here.
Yeah.
Yep.
So all three of these are set to either have their game launch or release their beta this summer, which is the same time that we're under for Wizards Unite.
Yeah, it's a similar window of time, right?
Yeah. So that brought up the question of, is the market becoming too saturated? And could the impending release of so many new mobile AR games spell trouble for Wizards Unite?
Yep.
These are certainly not the only mobile AR games. After the success of Pokemon Go and Ingress, we also saw The Walking Dead, Jurassic Park had theirs. Who am I missing?
There was a Ghostbusters AR game that came out, I think 6 months ago, earlier this year. I didn't really hear too much about that. As soon as it came out, it was like, oh, it's coming out. And I was like, oh, cool.
Right.
It came out.
None of them have seen the success that Pokemon Go saw.
So,
not even close.
But with those, so we have those three already that are already out. There's probably more out that we don't even know about, but there's those three out, three major IPs there, and then we're about to, inject a few more into the market. What are like pros and cons, I guess, for that type of market saturation? Is it a good thing for competition? Is it a bad thing because there's so many options? What do you think?
So I think that we would be unrealistic in thinking that market competition was not going to happen. Especially with the immense success of Pokemon Go. It was only a matter of time before we started seeing that. When we look at the 3 major IPs that are going to be coming out this summer, I think probably our biggest competition would be Minecraft.
Oh, yeah.
But I also think that is a different target demographic than Wizards Unite.
Yeah, I could see that.
I see that with young teens like our son, who they were the ones in that first wave of Minecraft, and now they have cell phones. So I don't know that there's quite as much overlap that we need to be worried about it. But competition was going to happen one way or another. And there's advantages, like you said, and there's disadvantages. Advantages.
Well, I think one of the key things is it's gonna have that competitive nature. These developers are gonna see the competition come out and hit the market. They're gonna want to innovate. They're gonna want to be unique. They're gonna want to have the thing that the other games don't have, and they're gonna try to strive to not just be the good ones anyway. Will strive to not be just a carbon copy of Pokemon Go and try to match its success just by copying what it already does.
Right.
And so far from what we've seen with Wizards Unite, there's a lot of innovation. There's a lot deeper gameplay, RPG elements.
A lot of the things that were missing from Pokemon Go in the early days,
right,
are there, and they've taken it to the next level.
So I'm curious to see when these the other new ones that are coming out, because we already kind of know what we have with these the games that are currently out, but the ones that are coming out, I wonder what they're going to look like. Are they going to be just a copy paste method, or are they going to have some cool, unique elements to it?
The problem that I have with mobile AR gaming is that not all of them work.
Yeah.
With the IPs. They just don't. It worked really well with Pokemon Go. And I see that it could work really well with Minecraft. It just seems like an easy transition into that kind of gameplay.
It could work really well with Men in Black. You've got, aliens hiding amongst humans.
Maybe. I think it's a lot more of a stretch for something like that than it would be for Minecraft.
I agree. Yeah, I could see that.
Some of them just easily fall into it.
Yep.
But regardless, having that competition within the market is going to push developers to develop a better product.
Yeah.
Period. And we as the consumers, as the players, are gonna. That's a win for us.
Yep.
Not only a better product, a better game, but better customer service and better communication. That was always something that Pokemon Go players would complain about, was the lack of communication from Niantic, and it felt like they didn't care about us as players. Mm-hmm. And that's gotten so much better as the game has gone on. But having that competition is going to push these game developers to be better. Yeah. in all those different aspects.
And I think as from a consumer perspective, how does it impact us? If you like AR gaming, then you're in for a treat this year. You're going to have a ton of options to choose from. You're going to have a lot of different games you can flip back and forth from playing. I find it difficult to do that in this genre of game. I usually, I love video games, but AR games... You
can't have, multiple AR games up.
So
they wouldn't be making all of these titles if there wasn't a significant amount of demand there.
Yeah. Yep. And, and then we get the fact that we have players, we have people walking around right now that have never touched an AR game. Surprisingly, they did not.
Never touched a video game.
Sure, yeah.
I was never a gamer.
Yeah.
Except for like early PlayStation.
Parappa
the Rapper.
So this could draw some new blood into the gaming realm and into the AR realm. So those are pluses to having all these options. But at the same time, there's so many options. That could be one of the biggest disadvantages, that if you're trying to compare the success level of one of these AR games to the success of Pokemon Go was in a very unique time. It was like one of the first. I mean, of course, we had Ingress, and I don't even know if there's any other than Ingress at the time, but it was the first major company that had partnered with the development that Niantic had put together to create something like Pokemon Go, and that it was first of its kind, really, for that level of popularity.
Yeah, but the more options that there are, the more IPs that you have people showing loyalty to. Oh yeah. The more each game's player base is going to shrink.
Well, like we were just talking about.
It makes it a lot harder to stay alive.
Yeah.
If you have a really small player base.
It's hard to play multiples of these types of games.
Right. You really kind of have to stick to one, maybe two.
I mean, unless you have several phones that you can just strap to your arm.
We do not. I have had to replace 2 phones this week. Our son went swimming with his, and Mike's decided to stop charging. So
great time for that phone.
We do not have multiple phones here.
Really appreciate the timing on that, Mr. Phone. I don't even know what to call it. Mr. Phone is what I went with. You jerk.
Well, and as you lose players, or that player base shrinks, that can seriously affect the game's profitability. Especially the way that these games in particular are structured, these mobile games, where you can purchase in-game stuff and
microtransactions.
You've got to have a significant player base there, and less profits means less resources to create quality content,
right?
And to keep innovating. It means less staff.
We're lucky with Wizards Unite that it's the same company essentially that had that smash success with Pokemon Go, and then they went ahead and partnered with the Harry Potter company, Warner Brothers, to have the funds there, to have the money to create such a quality game.
Well, and Niantic is profitable. They're doing...
I think profitable is an understatement based off of some of the reports.
They're doing really dang well.
Yeah, they're doing very well.
I think we were really fortunate that they were the ones that were working on the game that we cared in particular the most about, Wizards Unite.
Yep.
So, well, and I guess I would just say the other disadvantage is just that because you're bringing in people who are loyal to these different franchises, like Men in Black or The Walking Dead or whatever, games are going to die out. And the one that you may be loyal to may not make it.
What? Pokemon Go's dead, right?
Oh my gosh! If I hear one more person ask me that when they see me playing the game,
people
still play Pokemon Go.
You still play Pokemon Go? That was so 10 years ago.
I'm like, I'm gonna punch you in the face. Sorry, that was a little much. It's very late.
I could see you actually doing that though, so I just let that roll. I was like, yeah, that would happen.
You're like, that could happen.
Yeah. But no, I understand that. Yeah, there will be die out. All of these AR games can't sustain.
No.
There's going to be the top few, and I think Niantic has a good head start on.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, the bottom line here is, you've got to think who's different. You've got all of these different games, and we've got to ask ourselves, who's going to be different, who's going to separate themselves from the pack, and create something new. In order to have a chance to survive, they have to be different. But being different is just simply not enough. The developers, they need to have a really intimate understanding of who their player is. And I see that with Wizards Unite. It was my biggest concern, is that the developers wouldn't really understand who the Harry Potter fan was and what we needed out of a game like this. And to just provide a level of customer service that communicates that we care about you as a customer, as a player. So
I think that's shown in some of the footage that we've seen in the beta. They seem, they have brooms flying. You jump on a broom when you go a certain amount. Walk a certain speed. If you walk too fast, you jump on a broom. There's cool. Owls flying around. I mean, there's a ton of stuff that they've put a lot of detail from the Wizarding World into the game.
Most importantly, they've developed a storyline.
Oh yes, I'm so excited to get into that.
Yeah, that's the most important thing for us. The story is what we love.
And it's a multi-year, possibly, if this sustains, decade-long, epic storyline that they can just keep adding to. And
I'm excited.
I'm
really excited.
That's their goal, is to have a multi-year story arc that we will follow as we play this game, which is excellent. If you look at games like World of Warcraft, it's been around for 15 years because they've been able to just keep adding to the story and adding to the story. So let's do that with this game. That'd be excellent.
Let's do that.
Let's do that. Make it happen.
So that's it for the bulk of your episode.
Woo!
But we're going to end out.
That was a lot.
With our 3 random questions. Now, I
don't know these.
Mike got to pick out the questions last week or the week before. And so I got to pick them out this time. So you have no idea what they are.
I'm a little terrified sitting on this side. I don't know.
Don't be terrified. Yeah. I'll be gentle.
Okay, thank you for that.
That wasn't weird at all.
Yeah.
So get to know us a little bit. We want to get to know you. Comment on if you listen to this podcast on YouTube.
Yeah.
Then comment there, or just answer us on Twitter or whatever.
Yeah. So it's weird that we are putting this on YouTube, but we have a following there. So
and we've gotten.
We got great response from it being on YouTube,
right.
And I've seen other podcasts post there too. So yeah, boom.
So comment
if you're on
there.
YouTube, easy way to comment there. If you're not on YouTube, hit us up on Twitter or even Instagram, which we're on that a little bit more than we are on Facebook.
Yeah. Okay, so your first one, would you rather have all traffic lights that you approach be green, or never have to stand in a line again?
Okay, so I have a little bit of an advantage on this question. A lot of the random questions that we ask each other, a little bit inspired by a podcast that I listened to called the Spitballers.
That's not where I got this from.
It was on the podcast.
Oh, they've gone over this?
This is
okay.
on, yeah.
Okay, well, then I'm interested.
But if you guys don't know what that is, if you listen to podcasts, listen to comedy podcasts specifically, go check them out. They are hilarious. So this question they covered in one of their episodes.
Okay. Well, then what is your answer?
It was a while ago, but I cannot fathom the amount of frustration that I get when I am trying to get somewhere and I'm stuck in traffic. Or I'm trying to get somewhere and the lights all are yellow and red.
Yeah, it's super frustrating.
If I could make all of those green, I would love that.
Well, I feel like you're in the car a lot more than me. I'm driving around and I'm driving the kids around and stuff, but you have to commute into Nashville every day, and Nashville is just an absolute nightmare to drive in.
But think of this. It doesn't stipulate, when I initially think of never stand in a line again, I think about the grocery store. Sitting in the line waiting to pay for groceries. I could wait in that line. That's fine. You know what lines?
No, see, I couldn't.
Oh, hold on.
I hate lines.
This is the trump card. This is gonna sell sell my answer here. The thing that would sell this to me completely. It just says stand in a line. You'd never have to stand in a line at Disney. You'd never have to stand in a line at Universal Studios.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
You never have to stand in line for concert tickets. For all. Wait, do people even do that still? They just do it online now, don't they?
You just go online, baby.
Wow, I'm really not that old, but I went old there for a second. I think I'd never want to stand in line again.
Well, it doesn't stipulate here with the traffic lights that they are all going to be red. It's just that they will all be green. I'm not in the car, I feel like, enough that just bothers me. But lines do. I am so impatient. I hate standing in lines. And then, like, almost immediately, it's like my feet are in excruciating pain. I don't know why. They seem to hurt worse when I have to stand in line.
So you're taking never stand in line again?
Absolutely.
Yep, I'm with you on that.
Okay.
This one's going to be hard.
Question number 2. What is your favorite place in the entire world? I'm really interested to hear your answer. I don't know. I don't think I know what your answer would be.
Oh,
and we've been together a long time.
I don't know, guys. This is really hard because I like two things like immediately jump out at me, but there's one that I like as well. So the first thing that comes up in my head is the beach, like just being on the beach, you know, the white sand, crystal clear water. Great weather.
And you're talking about the Gulf Coast beach.
Gulf Coast beach.
Just to be clear.
Yes, not. I'm assuming the ocean side, you know, Atlantic.
Like that.
Probably not that way. I don't know. Maybe Pacific beach, California beaches, nice.
I've been to like the Pacific Northwest, those beaches, which are very rocky.
Like in Washington State, Seattle area. Okay. Yeah, I'm talking like white sands. Crystal clear water, that type of beach.
Okay.
Love it. Palm trees.
So like the Caribbean or like the Gulf Coast.
Yeah. Well, that would be one option. The other thing that popped out immediately is just the feeling I get every time we go to Universal Studios, and just walking through. Even like this recent time, we weren't even in the park for that long compared to like sitting on the beach or sitting by the pool and things like that. But every time I walk in there, especially going into like the Harry Potter areas.
It's like our happiest place on earth.
It's amazing.
Yep.
The other option...
I thought you were going to say bed. Because you love to sleep.
The other option, which is funny because that's not what's happening tonight, evidently. The other option, though, would be like home. Like, wherever home is... I am a homebody. I like to be at home, and so that would be a consideration as well. I've got to think about this. So, what is your answer or options?
Well, I don't have all that mess. Like I'm just I just have one answer.
What is it?
It is a little place in the Pacific Northwest called Claylock Beach.
Gotcha.
It's beautiful.
Oh,
we stayed out there on this little cabin. On the water, and the sun didn't set until like 10 o'clock at night, and when the tide went out you could see like all the coral and the starfish and stuff, and it was so beautiful. It was so peaceful. I love the Pacific Northwest, but Claylock Beach, it was like the most beautiful place. I want to take y'all there.
Well, now that you've said all that adds another option for me with family up in Maine. Beautiful area up there in Maine.
Maine is beautiful.
I think I just got to go with the beach, though. I'm going with the beach.
Okay.
No, yeah, the beach.
I mean, we're not going to like go there because you pick it.
We should.
You can just pick it.
I'm just going to say Harry Potter Wizarding World then, because
we go there quite a bit. Again.
No, I'm going to the beach. The beach.
Okay. Last question. Are you a morning person or a night owl? This one I feel like should be easier for you.
I don't know. Is there a middle animal?
Is there a middle
Early
animal?
bird, night owl. Is there a bird that's like in between? Because I used to say a night owl.
We used to be night owls.
Yeah, and then we, as kids and responsibilities, and I think that I've got to think about this. This is important. These are important questions. I think more so I'm a morning person.
I think you are too.
Yeah.
Mike gets up earlier than everybody else. He gets up and makes his coffee, and he wakes the rest of us up. Usually it's like dragging me out of bed. I don't like getting up in the morning. I hate mornings. I hate people until like at least 9:30 in the morning.
And what's great though is we at the point that I thought I was a night owl, and you are probably saying you're about to choose night owl, like it would be like 10 o'clock, kids are in bed, turn on some Netflix, we're like going to watch something awesome, and then 5 minutes in, I'm out.
Mike's always out. It drives me crazy.
Yep.
Now, I do have insomnia, and so, like, that's not really a fair comparison. I would love to sleep. It's just not going to happen. Like, it takes me, like, 3 hours to go to sleep, and Mike, his head hits the pillow. It's the most annoying thing ever. And he just, like, is so comfortable. You hear his breathing change. But then he starts snoring. Like, I have suffocated him a couple of times to make that stop.
Yeah, you want to tell our listeners that you've attempted murder to your husband?
I haven't attempted murder. You just won't stop snoring. So, like,
what do you do when I don't stop?
Well, I start by trying to get you to shift your body around to a different position that will make you snore less, but you won't, and you're a lot bigger than me. So then I resort to, like, how do I get him to wake up? Because you sleep so hard. So I will pinch his nose closed and cover his mouth. But
I can't breathe.
Not for long though. It just makes you wake up.
It does make me wake up because I literally can't breathe.
And then I'll roll over real fast and pretend to be asleep.
Oh, and most of the time I don't even know what happened.
And he's like what? I'm such a good wife.
That's great.
I hope I don't accidentally kill you one day. That would be so bad. I'd feel really bad about that.
As long as you don't do that for a prolonged period of time, I should be okay. But if I don't show up in a future video or a future podcast,
it could be that I accidentally suffocated him.
You guys may know why that happened.
But it's so loud, honey.
I apologize.
It's so loud. Okay, that is it.
Yeah,
for this week's podcast.
Give us your answers to those questions. We want to hear them. And
do you suffocate your spouse? Do you do that? Is that a thing that other people do?
All right, guys. So that is it for this episode, this podcast. We will record the next one next Wednesday. Maybe. Possibly. It's tentative.
It depends on if Mike has made it home from California.
Yeah, it's tentative. So, if it's not next Wednesday...
Maybe it might just be me.
It might just be Brittany, yeah.
We'll just have to see.
If not, we'll try to do it a little later in the week or something. We'll figure it out. We'll get you an episode, because we don't want you to go too long again without hearing our beautiful voices.
I'm sure that's what they were all thinking.
Yep. So go check out our YouTube channel, youtube.com/thewizardsguide. Go subscribe to us on all of the podcast apps if you have not yet, and leave us a review on there too. That helps us out. If you want to leave us a review on the Apple Podcast app and the Google Play.
Well, only if it's a good review. If it's not, then just forget that we ever said that.
That's right. It's the opposite approach of what reviews usually are there for. Usually you only hear about the negative.
We only want the good ones.
Yeah, only the good ones. All right, guys. Thanks for listening. We will see you on the next one.